everyone, Arwen here. So today I am doing a review of the Isis Oracle cards by Alana Fairchild, and the artist is Jimmy Manton, and they're by Blue Angel Publishing, so they're in this nice sturdy box, which I like very, very much. And then I've got, there's a very nice guidebook that it comes with, and I like that. And then the cards are absolutely beautiful. Right? So I really enjoy that too. And they're nice and sturdy, and they're slick, but they're not too slick, right? They're not like slippery as a goose. Some of my other cards are like, they're so slippery, like I can't keep them in my hands, okay? But these seem to have the right amount of slipperiness, so that's kind of nice. Alright? So I wasn't really sure what to think when I first got these cards. So I had seen them in a store, and they were, you know, like a tester version, and I kind of opened them up, started playing with them, and I was like, oh wow, like I could feel the power coming from the cards just from looking at them in the store, and I was like, huh, maybe these are something that I should get. So I did, and I wasn't sure how much I would like them, because a lot of my, I don't know how to put this, but a lot of my other aspects of consciousness and the parts of me, you know, like a lot of my other lifetimes centered around having a lot of lifetimes where I was very much in like the Norse, I don't know if morphic field is the word to use or hologram is the word to use, but I had so many lifetimes with Odin and Thor and Freya, right? And that belief system, and being pagan and living in the forest and being druid, and you know, all those like archetypes of that, right? And just living in those societies so many times, because it was just my favorite. Like, I just can't think of anything better than wandering around the forest, right? You know, 2,000 years ago. And so I just had so many dominant archetypes of that within myself that I wasn't really sure how I was going to feel about Isis, because as you know, that's very Egyptian. And although I'm sure that I had other lives in Egypt, I don't really ever remember them. Like, they don't seem to like come out. Although I am very into pyramids, right? Because I understand the geometry behind them, and so I really, really like pyramids, and I get that. But I really cannot say any Egyptian lifetimes that I've had. I just haven't, maybe I haven't remembered them yet, or I don't know. They just don't seem to be part of my dominant reality outlook, right? So I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about these, simply because it was so much of the morphic field of Egypt, right? However, I really, really liked it anyway, even though all of my aspects of consciousness are like, where's Odin, right? Like, we're not into Isis. So they're very, very much about transformation. So let me go ahead and show you the cards closer. Okay, so Jimmy Manton's art is very beautiful, and it's very, like, there's so much action and movement in the cards. That's the first thing that I noticed. Most of the images in the deck I do find to be very yellow and orange, like almost all of them. I do think it might have been a little, maybe more interesting if there were some more colors maybe dominant besides the yellow and orange, but I guess that's okay, because it does give the deck a certain frequency that it wouldn't have otherwise. And what I feel about this deck is just, it kind of feels like power, like extreme power and coherence, right? So that's, of course, you know, something pyramids do, right? They're very powerful, and because one of the reasons why is because, you know, they make the energy coherent. And so I noticed that I was called to this deck when I was integrating aspects of self that were very ancient, right, and very powerful. So they contained a lot of energy, and bringing them through was, you know, a little bit difficult. It took me like 3 weeks, which, you know, for me that's like a long time to integrate an aspect of consciousness, but I understood at the end of 3 weeks why it took so long. And this is a really good deck for that, because a lot of the images, a lot of the information that's contained within the cards has to do with integrating and bringing through aspects of power and using these ancient archetypes in order to bring that energy through. And that's something that I really appreciate about the deck. And so Alana Fairchild writes the guidebook amazingly, right? Like, she does so good. I can really feel the energy of the cards. I can tap into them, you know, and I can really feel the frequencies that the cards well, not just the frequencies, but the messages that the cards are trying to give me so that I can have a mirror and understand what it is that they're trying to show me, right? So of course, when I was using these cards, the mirror was, you know, aspects of self being integrated, aspects of power being integrated. And so, yeah, these are definitely the perfect cards for that. So let's look at the guidebook. It's very high quality. I do like that a lot. And she very clearly, you know, there's a picture of the card. She has a little thing in the beginning where it kind of encapsulates the card. And then I like that she goes on for a couple pages about the energies within the card. And that's really, I like that because it allows me to connect to it more. And at the end of each card, she has an incantation, okay? So that is something that I really liked and I appreciated about it. This book is very much into ritual and incantations and, you know, honoring power, using power responsibly, and I like that a lot about it. And I also liked how she went into the how do I put it, the archetypes and some of the stories that we all know from Egypt and kind of put them in the book to help explain whatever it was that she wanted to bring through with each card. So I really appreciate that about it. So yeah, the energy of this deck is fantastic. So if you're really dealing with powerful aspects of self, this will probably be a deck that will call to you. Even if you like Odin more than you like Isis. Although I must say, Freya, the energy of Freya feels just like Isis to my body. So she does have a couple of spreads in here. Golden Sun of Horus. Okay, where each card goes very clearly into what it is. And then she's got Wings of Isis, where she very clearly explains each one. Now, I did not use either of these spreads. I went ahead and used the spreads that I usually use. Just because that's what came to me when I was working with the cards. Oh, let me go ahead and show you the backs of the cards so you can see more clearly. Alright, so yeah, the artwork is very, very gorgeous. So I would recommend this deck for someone who I would say was a little more advanced in reading and who was very comfortable with their intuition flowing and very much in tune and in touch with themselves, right? And I think that it would be more helpful for someone who has really been doing this for a little while as opposed to just starting out, because if you're just starting out just looking at these cards, I don't know if they'd be a lot of value to you, because it's not like, oh, I'm going to look at it and I get it in 3 seconds, right? I mean, some of it, you really have to allow yourself to move down the depths and into the frequencies. And I mean, the book is immensely helpful. This is definitely one of those books where I recommend you study the card, you read the guidebook, you make sure that you understand the energy that the card's trying to convey, and then you can allow the full language of that card to present itself to you, right? But if you just, you know, you're looking for something more simple and not something as in-depth, this card deck may not be the one that you want to start with, let's put it that way. So yeah, definitely a little more advanced, definitely is going to, I would say somebody who is going to be drawn to this deck is someone who is interested in really integrating aspects of self that are maybe dominant or powerful or in some cases just very, very ancient, okay? And if that's the case and you like ritual and you like incantations and you really like, you know, working with the energy of the cards and allowing the messages to really move through your body and move through your subconscious, then I think that you'll really, really like this deck, even if you really like Odin, right? So yeah, I love this deck immensely, and it's one of my favorites, although I must say I really do only work with it specifically sometimes. It's not really an everyday deck for me, but when the energy says this deck, the energy is correct. It is this deck. So, alright, I hope you guys enjoyed my review. Let me know what you all think in the comments. If you already have this deck, let me know how you feel about it. And yeah, alright, I'll see you guys later.